I was at Duquesne last Thursday and Friday speaking with the 1Ls about the basic research process on Westlaw. We learned about accessing Westlaw from the lawschool.westlaw.com site, left-clicking on Westlaw in the gray bar, and how the big blue bar, the West search bar, stays at the top of your windows and searches all of the unique IP to Westlaw. Now, we could, of course, run a search like harassment, and then pick a jurisdiction like Pennsylvania by left-clicking on it, checking the boxes and hitting save, and then hitting that orange search button, and then get fantastic results across the entire law library, cases, statutes, key numbers, and everything like that. But keep in mind that it is also important to explain your research process, your research decisions, because that's what gives it credibility, not just clicking on the first thing you see in the bar. So we talked about those things that are unique to Westlaw. Pennsylvania Statutes Index. Westlaw has statutes indexes for the 50 states. So if you're looking for all of the statutes on a particular point, like harassment, you could also run that search up here in the big blue bar, because notice you are searching just the Pennsylvania Statutes Index. Harassment and stalking is only hiding in a couple places in the Pennsylvania statutes, but if it's in a lot of different places, how do you know that the statute that you're finding is on point? Good question. That's what this exists for. So starting with generally over here, we're looking at the statute. First things first, we read the statute. Okay, we see that these are some of the possible ways that people could commit harassment. I've added a note that doesn't make any sense. Here's how you add a note that actually does make sense. Left click and drag to highlight some text, and then add a note with a particular color. More on those workflow tools in just a second. Email, download, print with this menu over here. Save to folders, probably very, very much more useful. If you're reading the statute and you hit this super browse button to the side, this may be useful. Why? Because definitions could be in one section, elements could be in another section, defenses could be in another section. You need to understand all of them. Let's go back to the text of the statute itself. Notes of decisions are the chain of common law decisions that interpret the points of the statute. So you can see here, okay, well, like let's do duration of conduct. Turns out DUDA is the one case on point. Now, because DUDA was decided in 2003, what did the statute say about the duration of conduct in 2003? Did it say something different after then so that the analysis in DUDA isn't good anymore? Check the history graphical statute. This shows you the version of the law as it existed on a particular date and time. So that if your client is arrested on New Year's Eve last year and the statute included the element of being in a chicken suit, this version of the statute, which had that chicken suit element, would be the one that you would rely on and interpret. Because if the legislature amended it and you didn't see that chicken suit requirement anymore, then your analysis would be missing something. So that's the laws that existed at a particular date and time. Same thing over here. Citing references include secondary sources. So if you're looking for ALRs on harassment, you're looking for a novel fact pattern that hasn't been decided, and you're looking for something analogous in another state, secondary sources over here, and then select ALR along that left-hand side. Just like doing a West search, just like doing a big blue bar search, but these are just the things that cite to the statute. So you could, of course, left click on that. Let's go into a case on notes of decisions. Let's give you some information about reading a case. From the DUDA case, before we get to the words of the court, you will get the helpful information written by West attorney editors. Why? Because it helps lawyers understand what is going on in the case and whether it is actually worth reading. Generic terms like defendant, police officer, and so forth make it easier to understand than treating the parties like people that you know and they're your best friends and everything like that. Breaking down the holdings and the rationale, and then with these West headnotes, hit change view here to get them in 2 columns. The West headnotes that will actually break down what the case is about and then connect you to that point of the opinion. Where does the opinion start? Where it says opinion. So what I will do is show you up. There is the opinion. Those are the words of the court. Everything above it, information written by the West editors. Code notes, including points of law that are tied to particular statutes. So it looks like the defendant is making some constitutional claims as well as some state law claims. And left click into that to go to that point of the decision. Now, if you left click and drag to highlight some text, we talked about add note just a second ago. Copy with reference. This right-hand wedge gives you Allwood standard blue book, jurisdictional specific things, if your jurisdiction has its own specific citation format, and then copy it with reference to then paste into a motion paper, memo, and brief. Couple caveats: if your quote is more than 50 words, it needs to be block quoted. If the single quotes and double quotes are out in here and you want to clean that up, clean that up. If they use underlines but your work is italicized, then you need to make it consistent. Yeah, plenty of other caveats, but this information down here, the citation clause itself, will be correct, and that is pretty cool. Plenty of other amazing things that we will talk about from the law school site. Use Connect with your account manager. This button over here along the side will connect you to us, or you can also dial 1-800-REFATTY for complimentary reference attorney service any hour of the day or night. Thanks for watching and have a great year.